Good afternoon. I'd like to welcome you to your training for Red Oak today. You will be logging in with a username, password, and client ID. You will receive instructions on how to set that password. And when you log in with your username, your password, and the tenant ID, which of course is Transamerica, you will be brought to this screen here, which is your submissions tab. There are numerous sub-tabs underneath here. Under the All Active sub-tab, you are going to be able to see all of the submissions that are currently active that have not reached a terminal status, so they haven't been approved, that you're allowed to see. You will never have anything to do with the unclaimed queue, so you can ignore that. The Pending Your Action tab, this is your work queue. So if there's anything in this queue at all, it means that you need to do something in order to move it through the workflow. So either you've created a submission and you saved it, but you haven't sent it to compliance for review yet, or compliance has returned it to you and they're waiting for you to make some changes and send it back to them for final approval. The Pending Others Action tab are those submissions that you have created and you have now sent them someplace else in the workflow, usually compliance. But the system has complete and total transparency, so you can always see what happens to your submissions at any time. So you can click under the Pending Others Action tab, and you can see if anyone in compliance has claimed and is working on your material or not. The Expiring tab, 60 days before a submission is set to expire, you'll receive an email to let you know that it's going to expire. In that email will be a hyperlink so that you can attest that you understand it's going to, expire. And then if you want to continue using it, you have to resubmit it for review or stop using it on its expiration date. And the Completed tab is where all of the submissions go once they have reached that final terminal status. So it could be, withdrawn, approved, whatever it may be. All of these tabs can be moved around so that you can arrange this dashboard any way you want to. All of these column headers are sortable. If you feel that there are too many, columns here, you can click on this window pane and you can add, you can remove, you can customize this to be exactly the way you need it to be so that it's most efficient for you. Each of these sub-tabs would have to be separately set up because you may want a different setting for all active versus things that are pending your action. So let me show you how easy it is to create a submission in the system. You're going to click the red New Submission button. You're going to select the field Marketing Material Submission type. On this screen, you're going to put the name of the submission. You want to put something meaningful so that you can search for it later. You're going to select a need by date, or you can leave it blank. It's your choice. And if you are an assistant to a rep, you can click who it is that you are submitting on behalf of, because it wouldn't be yourself. Or you can submit it on behalf of yourself. Now, I'm going to put someone in here. You click Next. You're brought to the screen where you're going to select the documents that you want to upload into the system. And you can select the document you want reviewed, as well as any material that you have that's in support of that document. So I've uploaded these documents. I'm now going to select what type of piece it is. And in this case, this is going to be the supporting material. So I'm going to scroll down here to supporting material and select that. And then over here, there's a column that says supporting material, yes or no. So for the supporting material, I'm going to click yes. Once I've answered all of those, I'm going to upload all the documents. I'm then brought to the screen that has all of the information that compliance needs in order for them to complete their review. So the first thing that you'll see on this page is this attestation that by completing this submission and clicking the Save button, you're attesting to the following. The information contained in this submission is accurate and complete to the best of your knowledge. All claims made and facts and figures that have been cited have been verified, and all current source material has been included in this submission. And again, you would include that as supporting material with that document that you submitted for review. So you would upload them all at the same time. And you'll maintain a system of control and tracking over dissemination of the material and will produce on a quarterly basis dissemination records if requested. Please make note of the submission number so that you are able to locate your file later. So we're going to put in an agent code level. If there's a red asterisk in front of the question, it's required. If there's a question mark here, that provides additional information to help you understand what the question's asking for. So we'll do branch, an email address and phone number. Who can use this material? Intended audience. Your anticipated date of first use. If this had anything to do with a sales contest, you would fill in the next section. If this had anything to do with social media, you would answer the social media section. And if this is a public appearance, you would need to also complete the public appearance information here. So once you've completed everything, we're going to save. And you can now submit to compliance. Any comment that you put in here will go in the email that is sent to compliance. And that's it. I have now created my submission for review and submitted it to compliance. If I look under this pending others action tab, I can see this is the submission we created. We see under the current owner that it's unclaimed, so I'm going to claim this as the compliance person. Now that I've claimed it, you can see these blue and white boxes up here. These blue and white boxes are your biggest clue that you are the owner of the piece and that you can make changes to it. You can upload documents and you can send it through the workflow. So as the compliance person on the overview tab, I can see who completed it, who created it, and when. On the details tab, I can see answers to all the questions. The comments tab tracks all the comments that are made, the oldest on the bottom, the most recent on the top. The documents tab has the documents that I have uploaded for review, as well as the supporting material. They're under two separate tabs, so it's easy for compliance to tell which is which. Status history tells me every time this has moved to a new place in the workflow. The activity log is the audit trail, so it shows every time something has happened in here. So you can see, questions were answered, it was sent to compliance, compliance claimed it. The workflow diagram is a picture of what the workflow looks like. So you can see in this case, it is in compliance. So if I were ever confused about where I was at in the workflow progress, I could click on the workflow diagram and the purple box will tell me. Purple box is dynamic, so when it goes back to the create update step, that box will turn blue. System also tracks all the emails in the submission. Emails will look like this. You'll get the email. It'll tell you, that something is pending you. If you click on the hyperlink here, it will take you directly back into the system in the submission so that you don't have to look at, for the number or anything. And the last comment is always here at the bottom. So as a compliance person, I have two ways to review material. I can either download the document, mark it up, and upload the new revision, or I can click the view button here with these binoculars. This will upload the document into my browser, and I can annotate on it. So let's scroll down. So I can cross things out. I can highlight. I can add comments. I can do call out boxes, and I can add text directly on here. Once I'm done, I'm going to close out of that, and now I'm going to send it back to the submitter and say, see changes required. Let me answer some questions here first. So if I go back to my submissions page, this will now be under the pending your action tab because it's waiting for me to do something. I will have received an email letting me know that compliance has, sent an email and they want, changes to be made. So if I go here to the Documents tab, I can see pull the document down. I can see the changes that have been requested. I'm going to make those changes in my source document. And then once I've made all of my changes, I'm going to add a new revision. And then I'm going to return this back to compliance. Tell them I'm all done. Again, this has gone back into the pending my action queue. I can see that you have uploaded a new revision, because if I click this show all revisions button here, this is the original document, and here is the revised document. I'm going to review that, make sure all the changes were made, and if I'm happy, I can approve it. This submission will now live under the completed tab because it is finished. Here it is. You can see that is now approved for use. You will also notice that once it has been approved for use, you can see the approval date. You can also see the expiration date here. You will have received an email. The email will tell you that it's approved. Email looks like this, and it tells you in the header that, a submission you have been involved in has been approved. And it also shows you the last comment that was made. And that is the submission and review process. Let me show you now the My Profile tab. The My Profile tab is information about you. It lets you select what your time zone is. It lets you pick what language you would want the system to be in. And the most important thing is it lets you select a delegate email user. So if you're going to be out of the office on vacation, you can pick someone in here to receive emails in your absence. While you're gone, they'll get your emails. They can work on your submissions so that when you come back, you don't have, a work queue full of submissions. However, once you come back, you have to make sure that you come over here and remove that person so that they no longer receive your emails. The system also tracks every email you receive. So if you ever think that you should have received an email, but for some reason it's not showing up in your email box, you can always look under this My Profile tab and see if the email was generated. If the email was generated by the system, then there's, something in IT that's catching it, some filter. And you can work with IT to get that corrected. If it doesn't show in here, then you can reach out to us and we can find out why you're not receiving your email. Let me show you the search functionality within here now. So on the search page, this will show you that you have lots of information that you can search by. You can search by date range, name. You can search by text within a document. You can search by, people who are involved in a submission. So lots of different ways to search. You can even search by any of the custom questions that have been created in the system. So if we put in a date range and maybe an involved user, and we click search, the system will bring up the search results here in this second tab. If I don't want the results to show up in that second tab, I can choose to have them as a spreadsheet. And so if I select the spreadsheet option over here, I have column selectors. So I can add or remove columns. I can add custom questions. And now when I search, I will receive an Excel spreadsheet. That Excel spreadsheet has a hyperlink in it that goes directly into any of those submissions that you might want to take a closer look at. Also, if this is a search that you are going to use on a regular basis, you can save it. So you'll click the Manage Save Search. You can elect to share it with other members of your team or not. You're going to give it a name, and then you're going to save it as a new search. Then the next time you come into the system, you're going to go to the drop down here, select your Save Search, and it pre-populates your criteria. So all you have to do is hit the search button. Now let me show you a feature called cloning. So if you have submissions that go together, so maybe you have a, you have a presentation, you have, so you'll have a PowerPoint, you'll have an invitation, you may have some, giveaways or things. And so you can go in here, find your, whichever was approved first, let's say with the invitation. And we can now clone. So you can clone the material. I'm going to click Next. It's going to ask for a new document name because this is the new name. New piece of material. Different needs by date. You have to upload the new file. Choose the type of material and upload the document. This one didn't do it. If the questions had already been answered on this, all the answers to the questions would have cloned over. So that you don't have to answer the new questions. Now you can see in this overview tab that this shows you that this was cloned from this parent or original submission. If you click on this, it will show you that there was a child submission that was created for this. This permanently ties them together, so you only want to put, you only want to clone submissions that actually, go together. They work together. And if we go to the Documents tab, you can see there's a new tab here for Clone From material. And so it's easy for compliance to compare the two. This is also, the cloning is very handy when you have a submission expiring and you want to clone it and consent so that you can submit it to get it reapproved. I want to thank you for attending our training today. And if you have questions, please feel free to reach out to us.